Kicking off in Birmingham on Thursday, July 28, millions tuned into BBC One to watch the opening ceremony as countries across the Commonwealth gathered ahead of 2 weeks of sporting events. However, the BBC's coverage of the event hasn't sat well with GB News host Dan Wootton or Spiked Online reporter Brendan O'Neill, who both appeared on the news channel on Monday to rage over the Beeb's virtue signalling and bizarre coverage. If you thought the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham was a chance to celebrate Britain's sporting culture, think again, Dan said as he began his rant against the BBC. He went on, in the eyes of the intolerant left, they're the perfect platform for self-flagellation over Britain's colonial history. Thursday's opening ceremony saw frankly a remarkable array of virtue signalling, and the result was a total loss of sporting joy with bitter poems about intolerance and moments like this from so-called comedian Joe Lycett. The comedian was part of the proceedings during the night in Birmingham, where he was tasked with welcoming a number of athletes. In doing so, the former Great British Sewing Bee host quipped, "I'm going to do something now that the British government doesn't always do, and welcome some foreigners." The joke sparked outrage from many at home, and it especially irked Dan. Dan pointed out that BBC News at 6 also heard from members of the public who suggested the Games represented an outdated Commonwealth system. "I mean, I could see where things were going when I tuned into the Beeb's 6 p.m. news on the day of the Games launch, where they painted the Commonwealth as racist, colonial, outdated, and a waste of money too," Dan said. Brendan from Spiked Online joined Dan on the show after dubbing the competition as the BBC's Commonwealth Games. Dan welcomed him to the show and said, "I love the Commonwealth Games, I always have, but it was so obvious to me from that day of lunch that the BBC was going to do all they could to ruin them, which is completely ironic to me, by the way, seeing as they're broadcasting the thing for hours and hours ad nauseum." Brendan weighed in, "It's bizarre, it was basically the BBC wagging its finger at the public. Wagging it at the viewers who tuned in and saying, 'You live in a little horrible racist country.' And I don't think that's the message that people want or should get when they tune in to watch a bit of sport." Agreeing with his guest, Dan remarked, "The BBC can never just let sport be sport anymore." Dan then slammed the BBC for failing to show coverage of a netball game during the Games. He pointed out the broadcaster had dedicated hours of its schedule to the Games and seemingly still couldn't provide viewers with their desired sport. This led to him to rant, "The coverage is terrible as well, which is why the BBC should just be defunded." Tonight with Dan Wootton airs Monday to Thursday at 9 p.m. on GB News.